Alright, I apologize in advance for all the nervous antics you might see, because this is my first YouTube video, and you're probably thinking, hey, this is your first YouTube video, but I've seen you before. You're probably thinking of me in 2019 when I did the Moto audio, or a little later I laid down my dog on my bed attempting to kiss him. That was me as well. That also turned into Buff Quackity. He's a gamer streamer. But anyway, yeah. I'm not Quackity, but that turned me into Buff Quackity. Like a whole other alter ego of mine that is now mine. But I kind of like it. I like it. Or also, if I still look familiar to you, but you don't know me from any of the things I just mentioned, you're probably thinking of my twin brother. His name is George, and he has a YouTube channel of his own. But he looks like me. We're twins, but it's not me, but he looks like me. This is my first YouTube video, and I plan on making videos about fitness, wellness, health, skincare, diets, all of the basic everyday essentials that you should be doing. But today I'm going to show you how I cleared my acne, sort of. Alright, so this is how my skin looks now. You see how it's not clear. It's definitely rid of acne though. I don't have any cystic, red, irritated pimples, whiteheads or anything. But I do have a lot of dark spots still, a lot of hyperpigmentation that is slowly going away. This is how my skin looks right now, but 6 months ago, no, it wasn't 6 months ago. It was 4 months ago. 4 months ago, this is how my skin looked. As you can see, my skin was just super bad. It was really red, irritated, a lot of cystic whiteheads and blackheads. It was just super flared with acne, and I was kind of depressed, to be honest. And it didn't just happen overnight. It was a few factors that were going on that caused the flares. And one of the reasons was it was a change in season. So it was starting to get to the winter season, so it was getting a lot colder outside, so the moisture, the humidity was dropping, so your skin gets drier as the humidity and moisture levels drop. And so that weakened my moisture barrier, which allowed bacteria, other stuff that shouldn't go inside your skin, inside, and caused the flares. Another reason too is I kind of irritated that, because at this point, like 5-6 months ago, I didn't know anything about skincare. I would just get a really popular Cerave cleanser and use it on my skin, thinking like, oh, this had good results for other people. It should be good for me, right? But no, I didn't know those skin types: oily, dry, normal skin. I didn't know any of that. I just grabbed the popular Cerave cleanser. It was the foaming cleanser that they have, and I got that, and it was just too strong for my skin. It totally stripped my skin barrier. You really got to do your research on what type of skin you have and which cleanser you buy, because I was just using too strong of a cleanser, and it was already stripping my already dried skin from the winter time, and it was stripping my moisture barrier and allowing even more I don't know, what's the word? It's like bacteria, but it's a specific word. What's the word? Contaminants? I want to say contaminants. As you can see, I'm not a full-fledged licensed dermatologist. I'm just a guy who did some research on how to clear his acne, and I wanted to help others who might be having the same problem. So, you're welcome. Another, well, probably the main reason was I started on this new exfoliant. I never used an exfoliant before, but I was using the Cosrx Blackhead Power Liquid, I think it's called. It's a chemical exfoliant, so what it does, if you never used an exfoliant before, it encourages skin cell turnover, and so all of the acne that's layered inside your skin that's supposed to come out within months, it comes out within weeks. So all the acne that is going to come out anyways, it comes out all at once. And that's another term, it's called purging. That's what it's mostly referred as. A purge should only last about 4 to 6 weeks. And so if you're using a exfoliant or another product and you're still purging after that time frame, that's probably most likely irritation. You should probably stop using that. Yeah, so those were the 3 main reasons that caused me to flare up in the first place, with the season change, 2 strong cleansers, and the purging with the exfoliant. I was also going through a breakup at the time, so my hormones were going haywire. Yeah, so those were the main contributors on how my acne started flaring up in the first place. And the first step on how I started clearing it was with the basic stuff. And by that I mean I switched to wearing disposable face masks. Every day at work, I work in a hot kitchen, and every day I would wear a cloth face mask. And of course I would wash it, but you're supposed to wash it with hot water. I'll just throw it in with the rest of my clothes with cold water. And over time, that would just keep gathering bacteria, and I'll put it on my face, clogging up my pores, of course. Switching with disposable face mask, which I don't like because I love the earth, you know, so I don't want to throw a disposable face mask away every time when I could just wash one of my own. But honestly, it was getting kind of annoying with the acne, so sorry earth, I had to go with disposable on that one. So the next step I took into clearing my acne was I needed to rebuild my skin barrier, because my skin was already getting dry from the winter season, and I was already irritating it even more with the cleansers that were too strong for my skin that I was using. And so to rebuild it, I used the Cerave Moisturizing Cream. As you can see, it's got the eczema stamp of approval. And this one really saved my skin, because my skin was literally super dry, and I could physically feel tightness underneath my eyes and underneath my chin right here, and I could see it flaking, like it was that dry. But once I started using this, almost immediately the next day, it felt like super soothing, and my skin barrier was almost automatically repaired. They also have the daily moisturizing lotion, which is the same exact product as the cream, but this one does not have petrolatum, and so it's lightweight. But so either one works pretty good, but I just stuck with this one because it's a cream and it tends to be a little more moisturizing than the lotion is. So the next thing I took into account for clearing my acne is I switched to a gentle face cleanser. So I switched to the Cerave Hydrating cleanser, and that one was alright, but it didn't really feel as cleansing as I would like it. And so then I switched to the Vanicream Gentle Face Cleanser. Can't really see, but how does Dr. Dre do this? I don't know how she does it, but she makes it focus in a way. I don't know if you can see that, but it's also got the eczema stamp of approval, and this one actually works really good. It says it's for dry skin types, but I think it's for any skin type. Honestly, I could probably get into this in a whole other video and a review of it, but this cleanser is kind of like the best of both worlds, because generally dry skin cleansers fall in the more creamy side, and oily skin cleansers are more gel-like, and typically people prefer the gel cleansers because they are more foaming and they give that more cleansing sensation, but they're also more stripping, so you gotta kind of be careful with that. But this one, if you pump it, it has a cream and a gel like hybrid texture for it, and when you use it, it also feels like it cleanses your skin as well. Like the hydrating cleanser, it kind of leaves a film, like a moisture barrier film, but it doesn't really feel cleansed, and this one like makes my skin feel clean every time I use it. So the next and last step I took into clear my acne, and probably the main contributor on why my skin is cleared up, aside from all the dark spots, I started using a retinol, specifically the Neutrogena retinol, what is it called? The Neutrogena Rapid Wrinkle Repair Regenerating Cream. Now this is the fragrance-free version. There's a regular version that you could buy, but I recommend buying the fragrance-free version because typically retinols are irritating on their own initially, and so buying the fragrance-free version will lessen the irritation. Just like exfoliants, retinols also encourage skin cell turnover, so you will purge with them as well. I'm sure everyone knows Dr. Dre, who watches skincare on YouTube, and she basically said that this is the best beginner retinol because it's slow releasing and it's not as irritating as retinols usually tend to be. And so this is the perfect retinol for beginners. But yeah, like I said, they're very strong ingredients, and because of that they have really strong results, I guess you could say. They're very irritating once you use them, so you have to take certain precautions when you start a retinol, and I can get into that in another video, but this is the main contributor to me clearing my acne. If you don't use a retinol, you should use a retinol, even if you don't have acne. They're mainly marketed for wrinkles and to help anti-aging, but it's also really good for acne as well. I started using this retinol in late December, and I wanted to see the progress that my skin would actually have and if it actually cleared my skin. So I took a picture of my skin once a week, every week, and it's been about 3-4 months now, and honestly the results are pretty good. Now my skin is not totally cleared up right now. I mean, it's definitely rid of acne, cystic acne, but I do have dark spots that are still going away over time. But I would say this retinol is definitely a success. Also, I just want to reiterate that all of the progress photos that I'm posting, that is 95% of the retinol generating cream. I wasn't using any other active besides on the nights that I wasn't using my retinol. I would use a acne spot treatment, but I didn't really need to use it because with the retinol was already reducing my acne flares, so I rarely use the spot treatment at all. And with the Cosrx chemical exfoliant that I was using, once I started the retinol and once I started the progress pictures, I stopped using that because it's recommended that once you start a retinol to take a break from your exfoliants, because the retinol is already a strong and exfoliating ingredient as well. So once you pack on the double exfoliants, it could kind of do more damage than good. And with the Cosrx chemical exfoliant that I was using, I hopped back on that after the first 3 months of just pure retinol, only because I read online that combining an exfoliant with the retinol, not on the same night of course, but combining those can help with the hyperpigmentation and the dark spots. But then once I hopped back on the chemical exfoliant, I started getting a little bit of acne flares again, and so I just decided that one was irritating my skin, and I stopped using that one. So now I'm just using the retinol. Alright, so that was the whole shindig on how I cleared my acne, sort of, and I don't know what I'm gonna do now. Alright, so that was how I cleared my acne, sort of. I definitely still have some work to do. It's not completely healed, and I'll definitely give some updates once the next couple of weeks go by. But yeah, that was my first YouTube video, and expect more content about skin, fitness, health. That's a word I made up. That was my first YouTube video, and expect more videos from me in the future, and I will see you in the next one.